So let's get ourselves set up. As you know, posture is very important in just sitting. It's important in any practice, but often in just sitting, it is the central focus. It's the object of our attention. It's helpful in just sitting if we don't feel like we are consciously setting up our posture. It's helpful if we're just letting the posture happen. So we can just establish a kind of intention, a model, a goal in a way, a desired goal, a beginning, a long back, chest that's open, shoulders dropping and rolling back, back of the neck, long, open, relaxed, chin slightly tucked in, hands resting, the body letting go on every out-breath. Noticing the chest opening and rising with the in-breath, the body relaxing and softening on the out-breath. And just letting these things happen. Being attentive to what's arising from the world around you. The sense of space, the sounds, the light. Space in front of you, behind, to the sides, above and even below. Just letting the mind rest in this spacious awareness. And letting go of any internal activity like thinking. Which takes us away from a broad awareness. Relaxing back into this spacious attention to the outside world. And this sphere of attention includes the body and everything arising within the body, all the various sensations coming from a sense of touch, pressure, clothing touching our skin, skin touching the air, the body moving as we breathe in and breathe out. Feelings arising within the body, pleasant feelings, unpleasant feelings, just allowing them to be present. And thoughts are arising internally as well from time to time, no doubt. Just noticing those and letting go of them. Just seeing now if you can be aware of the whole of this sphere of awareness. The parts of our experience that are arising externally. Parts of our experience that are arising in the inner world. Just relaxing into this open awareness, letting the mind rest. And I'd like to emphasize the importance of not controlling. So let's first of all just notice the sense of space and light around us. You're not doing anything to make these sensations arise. You can't control the light and the space around you in this moment. You can notice them. You could try to control, to change sensations of light and space. But that's not going to do anything really but make you unhappy and tense. You don't do anything to make sounds arise. You could choose, in a sense, to focus on one or another sounds. But you can't make these sounds stop. You can't change them. You can't make them louder or quieter or turn them into different sounds. So just noticing that in this moment, you're not in control of any of this. It's just arising. And there are those sensations arising internally. There are feelings, for example, sensations, for example, of touch, pressure, your body pushing down on your seat, your feet in contact with the floor, your hands resting on your lap. You're not doing anything right now to make these sensations arise. These sensations are simply happening. You may notice tingly feelings of aliveness in the muscles in the body, in the feet, the arms, the hands, the legs, the buttocks, the back, the chest, the belly, in the head, in the throat, on the scalp. You don't make this aliveness happen, these internal sensations. They're just arising spontaneously. Notice the movements of your brain going on continuously your whole life. You may not have been paying attention to it until I mentioned it a few seconds ago. It was just happening. Air is flowing through the passageways in your body. Just letting that happen. It's been taking place without your conscious intervention, whether you've been aware of it or not. It'll keep on happening. The movements of the body against your clothing as you breathe in, as you breathe out. Again, those sensations are simply arising. There may be other little movements of the body, little fidgety movements. You weren't consciously making any of those happen. They were just taking place. The feelings that are arising within you, perhaps directly connected with certain sensations. If there's tightness, for example, tension in the body, this can feel unpleasant in a localized way. And you're not making that pain arise, that discomfort arise. It's just happening. If there are pleasurable sensations arising, perhaps where muscles are relaxing, letting go, or where there's rhythmic movement happening in a pleasing way, then those feelings are simply taking place. You're not consciously making them happen. There are feelings that are perhaps more emotional in nature, taking place around the heart, in the solar plexus. And those arise unbidden. They're just taking place. There are thoughts arising from time to time. So right now, ask yourself the question, I wonder what my next thought is going to be. And then just watch, realizing that you don't know what your next thought is going to be. So just observing with surprise the eruption of a thought into consciousness. You didn't make that thought happen. It just happened. You can decide, okay, I'm going to stop thinking. What happens if you try to do that? Maybe the mind is quiet for a few breaths and then up pops a thought. You didn't decide to do that, it just happened. Even if you decide, so to speak, that you are going to have a particular thought, where did that decision come from? Did you decide to have a decision? Did you decide to make the decision to have a decision? Or did the decision arise fully formed in your mind in the same way as the thought did? In the same way as a sound does? So there's a kind of threshold over which thoughts and decisions step, fully formed. You don't make those thoughts, you don't make those volitions happen. You're simply aware of them happening. So seeing if you can accept this and even enjoy it, enjoying the surprise of recognizing that you don't make your thoughts happen. You don't make your decisions happen. They just arrive. They just present themselves to you. And your awareness too is like a living thing outside of your control. Sometimes it's broad and open and spacious. Other times, without you making any decision to do this, your awareness contracts round about a particular thought, particular image, particular sensation. The mind flows here and there, down into your feet, out into the world, hearing the sounds around you. Do you know how that happens? What are the forces drawing your attention this way and then that way? And are those forces under your control? So seeing if you can just rest in awareness. Sensations coming and going, feelings coming and going, thoughts coming and going, volitions coming, volitions going. Just letting go of the idea that there is a conscious you, a conscious self that's in control of, that owns everything that happens. Sleepiness comes, sleepiness goes. Alertness comes, alertness goes. Mindfulness comes and mindfulness goes. When your mind returns from being distracted, how does that happen? Do you decide, I'm going to be mindful now? And if you weren't mindful a moment before, how could you decide to be mindful? Mindfulness simply comes together. So just sitting here, noticing your experience. Your experience taking care of itself. The breathing taking care of itself. The heartbeat taking care of itself. Mindfulness taking care of itself. Until at some point, the volition arises to begin moving. Where did that volition come from? And notice as you're moving that you're not giving individual instructions to all the different muscles in the body. Although you're aware of the movement is just happening. Fundamentally, you're not making it happen. And just noticing how the eyes open of their own accord. Reconnecting you more fully with the outside world.